Let's install PyTorch for use with a GPU on a Windows computer. I'm going to do this within the context of installing it for my class, but we'll also talk about if you're just installing it in general. I install a number of other packages that are very useful for my course. They're all general purpose, so you probably want to install them as well. Let's take a look at it. First of all, you'll see my class here. I have a link to it in the description at the bottom of this video. But the very first thing, we'll come back to this in a moment, that you want to do is install the NVIDIA driver. I'm just going to Google search. So I'm just going to Google search NVIDIA driver. You go to the downloads, and you need to put in the information for which driver you have. And by the way, if you're not completely sure which one you have, you can just pop open Task Manager, go to Performance, and you'll see your GPU or GPUs. This laptop does have two of them. It's got the Intel that's doing primarily the display. You can see it's kind of busy. And then there's a NVIDIA RTX A3012 gigabyte. That's my laptop GPU. Now, if you have less than 12 gigabytes, I don't know that you're going to buy yourself much by installing this for this particular course, but 12 works out reasonably well when I test it on this particular. I need to switch to Quadro, RTX series, and then I need to go to RTX series for notebooks. My mistake, I have an A3012 gigabyte. Make sure you get the right one there. I don't think it matters actually a great deal. I believe they use common GPU drivers, but nonetheless. So I'm searching for that one, and I choose to download it. And we save it. Okay, and when it's downloading, you can double click it and run it. Okay, it installs. This is going to restart my driver when it installs, so that will almost surely blow this recording out of the water. Okay, I'm going to agree and continue. Express is plenty good. And I will say, if you already have an NVIDIA driver on your computer, it shouldn't hurt. I already had one on mine, an older one. I tend to run this from time to time just to keep everything nice and up to date. And we will fast forward through this. Okay, it's installed, so we'll close that. And if you're just installing PyTorch, this is not really that hard. Just go to PyTorch, and right on the main page for PyTorch, you've got this installer. This is like so easy compared to the old Kira's Dark Ages. You simply pick the stable, choose your operating system, Windows. I like to go with the Conda install because I have Anaconda installed. That's my preferred platform. So I'll do that. Python, obviously. And we'll stick with CUDA 11.7. And there you go. You just copy and paste and run that right into your Anaconda prompt, and you'll be good to go. I'm going to continue showing how to install it actually for my class. The next thing you would want to install is Miniconda. Python, Anaconda, or Miniconda. It's up to you. I prefer Miniconda because I don't like having a lot of extra stuff installed. I prefer to install it as I need it. But if you're starting out earlier, I might just go with Anaconda. So if you go to Anaconda or Miniconda, it's going to take you to here, and you can choose to download it and run it and install it. Do a search for Miniconda if you want the more minimalist version. I'm not going to go through the install of that because I'm going to assume you already have Python on here. You're going to have something called an Anaconda prompt. The Anaconda PowerShell prompt, perfectly fine. I'm just going to use the Anaconda prompt. And here we are. You should now have Python, which is good. You can do now conda env list. This shows you all your environments. I have a few defined. Torch is the one that we're going to install. I obviously previously have that. If you mess up an environment, you can easily remove it just with conda env remove -- name torch. You don't need to do that unless you've already got torch there. So it's just going to remove that for me. And I'm blowing it away, and it's blown away. So what you're going to do is download the course material. You really just need one file. If you're in the app Deep Learning, make sure you're in app Deep Learning and not the older one. And go into install. Go into this folder, and you need Torch CUDA YAML. And there you see it. You can look at it in raw form. There it is. I'm going to save it as. There's a million ways to do this. I don't know why Windows wants to put a TXT onto the end of it, other than just to break it. And you don't need all that nonsense at the beginning. It wants to put it on the desktop. That's fine. So we'll save it. I actually downloaded the entire course. It's there. So I'm just going to use that because it has everything I need. So I'm in the install directory. You will go to, from this install directory, open up this file. This is the August 2023. You always want the latest of these because I will change it as they change stuff around. But you want the NVIDIA CUDA. So we're following along with this. We already installed Miniconda. I do recommend that you install Jupyter. Make sure you're in your base environment when you install that. So if you just do conda install Jupyter, it's going to install it for you. Okay, and you're good to go there. So now let's go ahead and get this next command. You want the NVIDIA, so this command here. This YAML file, it has everything that install page that I showed you has, plus the other packages. So I'm going to click that, and I am going to simply run it from here. This takes a moment as it grabs all of those. If you're going to get an error, this is where you'll get the error. I don't really have too many common errors that occur at this point, but just let it run. If you do get an error, post it in the comments. I don't always have time to answer those individually, but when I start to see a lot of errors, I figure they've changed something, so I will update the documents. I usually update this once a semester. Keras broke it almost every single semester. We'll see what PyTorch does. They seem to be a little more stable. All right, it's all installed. So we will do conda activate torch. You can see the prompt change. We're now in the torch environment. And now we're going to register it with Jupyter. So this command here actually causes the kernel to be registered with Jupyter so that your IDE can see it. So I'm going to paste this into here and run it. That's a very quick process. It's done. And now the next command that I give you over here is just to run Jupyter Notebook. So let's run Jupyter Notebook and test it. And I'm going to open that notebook that we were looking at on GitHub. And notice it's already using my Torch environment. If it's not doing that, then click on this, change kernel, and you should see that environment that you just created. So you can switch to that. And I'm just going to go to this bottom part. Let's go ahead and run this. This will test and see if your GPU is available. It doesn't really cause much of a load on it there, as you can see, but it does say target device is GPU. GPU is available. This is not no Macintosh, so we're good. All right, you're ready to take the course or go on to other adventures in deep learning. Thank you for watching the video, and if this is useful, give me a like. If any part of this installation process has changed, let me know in the comments, because that's how I find out about these things. Definitely subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything in the future. Smash the like button and stuff. Thank you.